to the one person right now who's actually tuning into this, I forgot to schedule this show and putting notifications out, but I wanted to do while I stream today. So after this has gone up and is on YouTube and Twitch, everyone else will be able to see it. Now, I said when I first started doing this, and I'm going to try and stream every day that I can. So here we are. Just got off set. Just got done shooting an excellent scene for Pure Taboo, directed by Joanne Angel and filmed by the lovely Mike Quasar, everyone's favorite cameraman slash director in this industry. Got to do a what we would call a boy girl scene with Steve Holmes and the lovely Aidan Ashley, and it was in fact art imitating life, because we had Aidan Ashley in the script had never had a two guy, one girl three-way, and in real life, Aidan had never had a two guy, one girl three-way until about an hour and a half ago. So me and Steve Holmes got to pop that cherry. It was lovely. She's fantastic as always. Excellent shoot. Everyone had a good time. And more importantly, Mike Quasar got to go home early, which if anyone in the industry knows is his absolute favorite thing in the world to do. So today I wanted to talk about something that people might find kind of interesting. I know I titled this episode "Sugarbabies Are Terrible in Bed." Let me explain where I draw that conclusion from. Now, you get a lot of different types of girls in this industry, and whenever somebody asks me, what is it like working in porn, in adult entertainment as a guy, they sort of assume that every girl is a nymphomaniac, and that's unfortunately that is not the case. I always tell them, look, I kind of break the female talent pool into like thirds, right? And there's one third which are genuine nymphomaniacs. They're absolutely fantastic to work with. Like everybody, guys and girls, no matter who you are, everyone loves working with them because they're just there. They're in. These are the girls who are in the reason, in my opinion, for the 100% the right reason. They absolutely love being exhibitionists. They love sex. They're great at sex, and it makes like everyone's day super easy, and it makes for fantastic, content, shall we say, for the viewers, for the fans, right? Then there's a third in the industry who are kind of like I would call them like professionals, right? So, and let me clarify that again. So this first third that I talked about, those sort of the nymphomaniac girls in our industry, like from the moment you get to set, it's sort of like you guys are flirting with each other. Yeah, you're grabbing up on each other, you're making out like in between takes. It's like the whole day there's just this like sexual tension, and then you two are just waiting to rip each other's clothes off the moment the camera goes on. You're chomping at the bit to get at each other. And then there's a second third of the female talent in this industry that are basically what I would call like the professionals. Shout out Simply Deep. Welcome back, mate. Good to see you again. How we doing? And what they're like to be on set with is they're lovely, they're great, they're very friendly. Everyone gets along with them. They don't make anyone's day bad or hard or anything like that. They get the job done. But it's not like that first third. These professionals are sort of, as the name would imply, they're more professional, right? So thank you very much, Joshua. I quite like this background myself. Fly me to the moon. And these girls, they won't really give you. They're not really like flirting with you all day. They're they're just, treating it like a job. And then when the camera goes on, then the magic happens once the camera goes on, right? And so they're and when the camera's on, when we're shooting, the hardcore portion of the film, of the movie, brilliant to work with, fantastic, right? But they're not necessarily, flirting with you the entire day. They're not, and these girls tend to, in my experience, they tend to be the girls that have sort of been in the industry for longer. So maybe they got into it as a teenager, and then they've stuck around, and now they're, when I say teenager, I mean like 18, 19-year-old, or in our industry we call them a teenie, and now they're maybe a MILF. They've been in the industry for say 10 odd years. They're in their late 20s, whatever it is. So they've seen a lot. They've been around for a while. So they've got this sort of system down for like being professional on set, getting the job done, and sort of performing when they need to perform, right? Coyote, good to see you, mate. Everyone's loving this background. I'm glad that this background is appealing to everybody. I quite like it. I'll get to your question in a second, Simply Deep. I'll finish the point I'm making here. And then the last third of the girls, of at least what I classify girls in this industry, right? This last third, they're the ones, unfortunately, that kind of make this job a bit difficult, or can make this job difficult at times, as a male performer, right? In my opinion, they tend to be girls that are in this for the wrong reasons. Now, that might be they're in it because they're just looking for a quick buck, and they're just, trying to make ends meet, and they just want a quick. They're looking for quote unquote easy money. This isn't necessarily that easy money, as many people find out, but that's kind of what they got into it for. Or they're in it for validation and attention, and you can tell this last third because they're the ones that are very standoffish, very icy on set, and they have this air about them as though towards the male talent, like, you're lucky just to be anywhere near my vagina, or whatever it might be. That's kind of the impression you get. And if you talk to male talent, like multiple guys like me, they'll pretty much all agree on which girls fit into these kind of categories. It's pretty consistent across the board, at least in my experience, in my conversations with other male talent. And so that leads me into the point I was trying to make with this entire show, what this entire episode's about, which is that Sugarbabies are terrible in bed. And how do I know this? Hey, Barbie, good to see you again. Haven't seen you in ages. How you been? Yeah, Joshua, I would agree. That really depends on the circumstances of that embarrassing moment. So to answer your question, Simply Deep has asked, how would you handle an embarrassing moment? It really depends. What kind of embarrassing moments? Are we talking like your dick goes soft in the middle of sex? Are we talking, I don't know, like someone pulls your pants down at a party? Like what are we talking about here? You have to get a bit more specific for me to help you out here, buddy, and give you an answer. Now, the reason I have come to the opinion that Sugarbabies tend to be bad in bed is because I have worked with a few girls who are in some way, shape, or form professional Sugarbabies, or at least have been, and then they've gotten into this industry. And I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you a little story, hence why this is a Storytime with Stirling episode. I'm glad you caught my stream too, Barbie. I'm glad you caught my stream too. I didn't schedule it, didn't advertise it. I was just like, oh, I've been on set all day, and I've promised that I'll be streaming every day. So I was like, all right, got to crack something out. So I'll just go live and see who tunes in. So I'm very glad to see a few people are in here. I'm very, very happy with that. It means I'm doing my job. Doing my job right. So here's what happened to me. I think this was about a week ago. Maybe a week ago. I was on set. I'm not going to name names either because, some people in some companies might get in trouble. So I was shooting for a company. And the scene was a cuckweening scene. For those of you who are not familiar with the term cuckweening, it is the reverse of cuckolding. So cuckweening is when the husband, in this situation me, in this script me, sleeps with another girl in front of his wife or spouse or partner or girlfriend or whatever. That's what cuckweening is. So that was the script. That was the scenario. The female talent I was working with was the teeny girl who was like what do they call them? There's a specific term for them. It slipped my mind. And then the extra who was on set that day. So she wasn't paid to have sex. That's what we define as an extra. She was the MILF performer playing my wife, right? Now, the director sat down and we were just chilling and talking before we started filming anything. The director asked the female talent, the teeny girl I was supposed to be working with, well, I did work with. He asked her, so where did you live before LA? Like, what were you doing? And she goes on to say, I used to live in Miami, and then I lived in New York, and then I lived in Paris, and then I lived in Marrakesh. And both me and him gave each other like a glance, and we immediately knew that this girl was a sugar baby before she got into our industry. And how do I know that? Well, for a start, I used to be an escort myself. I used to be a straight male escort back in Australia, where it's legal. And I have lots of friends who are in that industry, both back in Australia and here. And one of the things that you see in Paris is you get a lot of rich guys from Muslim countries, aka Marrakesh. I think Marrakesh is in Morocco. Am I right? Someone correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I believe Marrakesh is in Morocco. So you get a lot of rich guys from Muslim countries go to Paris to find basically white Western chicks to pay as sugar babies to bring them back to their home country to have fun with them. And the reason they do that is because the girls are all covered up and a lot more conservatively dressed, and let's say they put out less, right? Where they're more traditional, right? Whereas our Western girls, fair game, right? So the moment that we heard, I lived in Paris and then I lived in Marrakesh, we're like, ding, ding, ding. This girl was a sugar baby. You got flown out to Marrakesh, spent some time in Marrakesh. And obviously, New York is also a very common spot for girls who are sugar babies and are escorts. In case you didn't know. Miami as well. Same thing with Miami. So she'd hit all these hot spots. So we immediately knew that. So it was a dead giveaway. Anyway, I wasn't getting great vibes off this girl from the moment I got onto set. She was, again, like I described before, very kind of standoffish, cold. I wasn't really warming up to her very much. So I immediately lumped her into that final third category where, like, okay, this girl's probably here for the wrong reasons. And to top it all off, one of the PAs, the assistants on set, before we started, what did he do it before we started? Yeah, I think it was before we started shooting. Or it was about halfway through. Actually, it was about halfway through us shooting this scene. He came up to me and he whispered when we took a break. He came up to me and he whispered, and he's like, "Hey, out of these two girls, the female talent and the extra, which one do you think is a bit tipsy right now. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Because we're not allowed to drink on set. That's a hard no. Like, you're not supposed to be intoxicated in any way as a performer. It goes against like consent guidelines and regulations that we have in our industry. So you're not supposed to drink. You're not even in California. You're not even supposed. I don't think you're even supposed to be high on weed or anything like that. Even though it's medicinal, I'm pretty sure that that crosses the line. I'm pretty sure. And it's to do with consent and like making sure that people who are shooting adult film are like consenting and of able body and mind to make these decisions, right? So this PA come up to me and said that. I'm like, what do you mean? Like this, I couldn't actually tell that anyone had been drinking. I couldn't smell anything, but he said, tell me if you can smell it on anything else. And we got through the entire scene and I actually couldn't. So I kind of thought he was joking. And then after the scene got shot, he actually came out to me and he was like, look, there was an empty bottle of tequila. Like one of the, like a fifth, what do you call it? Like one of these small ones. There was an empty bottle of tequila in the dressing room, or like the dressing room bathroom where the girls were getting ready. And he'd figured it out. He was like, it was because he was kind of watching that night. And once we started the actual hardcore portion of this video, I kind of had figured it out. I was like, oh wait, it's this one. So it was the female talent I actually worked with. I didn't know. I don't think she was actually drunk, but she had some intoxication from what we could tell, which is not professional at all. But we got through the scene. I wasn't one to like cancel the scene and be like, make a big hoo-ha out of it, because that ruins the day for everyone on set. It's because it's me, extra, female talent, director, and 2 PAs. It's 6 people who, if I'm like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, blah blah blah, 6 people miss out on a paycheck for that day. So I was willing to sort of, forget about it, assume there wasn't really any problem, and it wasn't actually confirmed until after we'd done shooting anyway. So, well, there you go. But getting back to my original point in this video, the reason I think she had to have a drink was because, like, she's there for the wrong reasons, right? She was one of these girls that gets into this for be it money or attention or validation, not because she's a genuine nymphomaniac, is an exhibitionist, loves sex, and wants to explore like that side of her. She's doing it for the complete, in my opinion, for the completely wrong reason. And I have worked with a couple of girls that are sugar babies and have done the same thing. They've come into it for the wrong reasons, that have confirmed that if a girl is a sugar baby in general, and I'm not even like the guy that's paying her to be a sugar baby, I'm a guy who's just working with her, on set as well, they tend to be absolutely terrible in the bedroom. And again, I think it's because they're not there for the sex. They're just there for either a paycheck or to get a little bit of attention and validation. Now, contrast that to this first third of girls I was talking about earlier, the girls who are absolute nymphomaniacs. They are brilliant in bed, brilliant to work with. They're there to here's the difference. They're there to please their partner in bed, in the scene, wherever. And that could be a guy or a girl, because most of the girls in our industry are bisexual to a degree. And they're there they're there to give pleasure for the express they're doing things for the express pleasure of their partner, which is fantastic. It's great. It's how sex should be. So that's, as a guy, experiencing that. So what I'm trying to get at is, I think a lot of what and I've never paid a girl to be a sugar baby or whatever, right? But I think a lot of these dudes who do are probably finding themselves on like the short end, they're not really getting what they think they're paying for. Maybe they're getting a bit of companionship, but they're probably not getting the sex that they actually want to be getting from a girl they would perceive as being, quite skilled in the bedroom and nymphomaniac-esque. It's probably not the case in my experience, mate. So if there's anyone out here who's thinking of hiring a sugar baby, be warned. You might be a fool's gold situation. What's up, Avi? Good to see you, my friend. As always, I'm only going to make this a really quick one because I, like I said, just got home off from set and put up the new green screen. Wanted to play around with this for a bit. But let's. I'll jump into Simply Deep's question. And that he has asked it. Thank you, Barbie. Thank you very much, Barbie. It was a great story. Thank you. Where are we at? He was telling. The worst time that would happen is during finishing and in a state of full undress. During a state of finishing. Yeah, I'm still not 100% sure what you mean, Simply Deep. Yeah, it looks like. Let's look at the original question. Somebody walks in. Oh, here we go. Walks in or stumbles upon you and a lucky lady at the wrong. Here we go. This is the actual question. All right, here we go. Now I've found it. Somebody walks in on or stumbles upon you and a lucky lady at the wrong time at some secluded area. Okay, now I'm understanding your question. Cool. Yes. Okay. Right. How do you deal with it? Well, look, you have fun with it, mate. Like, you shouldn't. Okay, for a start, like, she's going to be as embarrassed as you if you're getting caught, right? It's your job to lead if you're a dude. So whatever, like, if you're scared and afraid, she's going to feed off that vibe, and she's going to be scared and afraid that someone just caught you. If you're like finding it funny and hilarious and happy and laughing and joking about it, she's going to feed off that energy and she's going to be fine with it. So someone walks in on you, okay, like, pull your pants up, have a laugh together, and whatever. It's not a big deal, unless it's a police officer, in which case you're probably in trouble. That is one thing that most people should be very aware of, is that at least in America, at least in California, as far as I'm aware, any like, if you get caught doing like public sex, you go on the sex offender register, which is where they put pedophiles and shit. So be very, very aware of that. If you are going to have, and I don't discourage people from having public sex or whatever, but if you do intend to have it, just be cautious and be aware of like your surroundings and be careful not to be doing it in too public of a place, where police officers or some authority figure might come along and find you. You'll be in real deep shit if that is the case. But to answer your question, like, how do I? Where is this question again? Let's go up here. How do you deal with an embarrassing situation like that? You just shrug it off. It's not that big a deal. Like, big whoop, some stranger saw you with your dick out. All right. When you were a kid, plenty of people saw you naked. I guarantee you, everybody who's watching this video, when you're a baby, you ran around stark naked, and everyone didn't give a shit, or they laughed at you, or whatever. Right. So it's happened before. You just weren't really consciously aware of it at the time, right? Someone walks in on you, banging your missus, whatever. That's it's more. I actually think it's more embarrassing for the person that caught you than you guys, right? Because they're walking in on an intimate moment between two people, right? So in reality, they're the one that should be embarrassed, not you. That's my take on it, buddy. Joshua, do you think she drank? She performed successful? It's kind of, yeah, Josh. I think she did it, to sort of get her head in like a more I don't give a fuck state, if that makes sense. Because it's not like it's not like girls have like performance anxiety the same way that dudes do, right? It's kind of different. What they do have, like, so if a girl's sort of not really into it and really, really nervous, and she might be she might not have much lubrication down there. She might be dry, or whatever. But we tend to use lubrications on set, artificial lubrications, because guys in our industry tend to be packing, so it can be a bit uncomfortable. I mean, not all the time, obviously. If you've got great chemistry, there's no need to use that shit. But it's always on standby. You know what I mean? So you don't really need it for that purpose. She wouldn't have needed to have a drink for that purpose. So I think you're kind of right there, Joshua. It's probably more to get her mind in the frame of, okay, like that's just to get her out of her head. And something else I forgot to mention is what she was on the phone with some, like, so we were doing like, we do a sign-in process, right? Where the director films us filling out our paperwork. It's for compliance purposes. Some lawyer in Canada or wherever, whoever owns the company, is, you know, making them do all this stuff. And when we were filming that, her phone rang during the middle of the filming, and we had to cut. And she was talking to some dude. It sounded like she had. So here's what it sounded like. It sounded like she had made plans to go to some event, some important event, but the sound of it with this dude who was on the other end of the phone. And she must have thought she'd be, which sounds really weird, because it sounded like he told her, oh, look, you know, red carpet's at like 6 o'clock or whatever. When are you going to get here? Oh, I'll get there as soon as I can, blah, blah, blah. And that was at like 2 o'clock or whatever. I don't know how many scenes this girl had shot before, but you can't really leave a porn set on a pretty consistent schedule. Like, there's always like, you're always there for, unless you're working on a set with the man Mike Quasar, who's a legend in this industry, you're pretty much like on set for like at least 4 to 6 hours, pretty much, like averagely. Just for, like, and that's not because of boner issues or anything. It's just how long it takes to do all the dialogue and the paperwork and the makeup and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, she was giving off really weird vibes the whole day. So it was a bit of a weird one. Joshua, thank you for bringing it up. Simply Deep, you're welcome. You're very welcome. I am, and yes, I am confident. That's kind of a requirement in my line of work. You don't get many guys who are flashing their naked body on camera who are not really confident in themselves. Yeah. Anyway, that'll do it for this evening, folks. I hope you like my new backdrop. I'm going to play around with this for a while. And don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe. Please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell, because otherwise maybe 1 in 10 of my videos will actually show up on your YouTube feed, if that's where you're coming from. And if you're not coming from YouTube, if you're tuning in via Periscope or Twitch, I'd highly recommend you to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. And I'd also highly recommend for you to go to my Twitch channel and follow me there if you use Twitch as well, because I'm trying to get my subscriber count up, trying to get it out to as many people as possible, so we can, help people improve their sex lives through my copious knowledge of the human body. Thank you all for tuning in. One more question before we disappear. Joshua, what do you got here? Will you even do with Steve the Dean Williams? I honestly, Joshua, I have no idea who that man is. I've never heard the name Steve the Dean Williams before. When I saw the word Steve, I thought you were going to say Steve Holmes, because that's the guy I worked alongside today. I wish I knew who you're talking about, Joshua. Otherwise, I would try to reach out to him. But I do plan on having porn stars on this show with me. I'm planning. Where's my schedule up here? Possibly Sunday. We might be able to have. I might have my first female guest on this show. My plan is to get some female porn stars in here with me, and we're going to go through. I'm going to attempt to give everyone a glimpse into the life of a hot girl, right? And the way I'm going to do that is we're going to go through her DMs on her social media and give you an idea of, one, how many goddamn messages these girls get on a daily basis, and 2, the kinds of messages that these girls get on a daily basis, which is the really, really eye-opening part of that. So that's going to be, fingers crossed, all the scheduling goes according to plan. That'll be Sunday. So make sure you stay tuned to all my social media. I will be dropping, when we confirm it, we're dropping the live stream time and the name of my guest. So it should be very, very exciting. Barbie, why are you laughing at me the whole time? Barbie, look, I thought we got along. What's with the laughing emojis? All right, settle down, honey. All right, that'll be it for this evening, everyone. I hope you all have a fantastic night, and I will catch you a bit later. Peace out.